now. I definitely would like to congratulate on your percentile and on the present avenues that you've been treading upon. So congratulations.
Thank
Hope
you
you
so
can
much.
hear us.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and so I hope that this interview or this interaction helps a few aspirants. So yeah.
I am pretty much sure on that because we've got a lot of questions for you, and probably the answers would definitely help all the aspirants for that matter. So, Abhishek, if you could give us a little brief about your journey, whatever you've read.
Okay, so I think I did my schooling from Sacred Heart School, BRS Nagar, and I opted for commerce stream. I completed that in 2019 with 96.6%. And it was back in 2018, I think, that I started preparing with Hitbullseye team. So my brother guided me that, these days there are a lot of competitive exams. They have the entrance exams for colleges. And thanks to him, I thought that let's go and just find out. And uh, 2018, that was the beginning year of class 12. I started preparing, and 2019 I appeared for a few exams. And I think my preparation really worked out. It was 1 year of hard work by all the faculty there, Jasprit sir, Sakshi ma'am. They really helped me, and I think uh, this would be my personal suggestion or my opinion that I hold. It's a strong opinion that at least once in your life you should prepare for such exams, because they completely change you. They change your personality, the sort of aptitude that you develop. So that worked for me, and I had some brilliant results. So I cleared IPMAT by IIM Indore, IIM Rohtak. Then there's this exam by Saint Xavier. I cracked that. All India rank 7, then DU chat. So all the exams that I appeared for, I did pretty well, and thanks to Hit Bullseye team, because I don't think it was possible for me. And I think an added advantage that I had probably was that back in those days, 2019, students were not very aware. Like, I can speak for my school. Out of the 300 students studying there, barely 10 or 15 knew about these exams. But these days the competition is pretty high, I'm sure. So, and after that I enrolled for this IIM Indoors IPM program. And the journey there has been obviously fantastic. It's been amazing. uh, I think it's one of the most carefully crafted courses that you can have at an undergrad level. And yeah, that's it. And then this preparation for cat. So although I was already in an IIM, and that is why I think I was sort of complacent when it comes to the preparation. I didn't really prepare a lot, I'll be honest on that part. So I prepared for almost 2 months. So with, again, hit bullseye, because I had a sort of repo there with the teachers, the faculty, and I enrolled for the online test series that they have there. And yeah, it just worked out, I'd say.
So, Abhishek, definitely the mentors would, I mean, I would also like to thank them on your behalf for giving us such wonderful students and such wonderful results. But that is not just their efforts, to be very, very honest on that part. It is also
Mhm.
you, because you have been very dedicatedly working towards achieving a career, achieving a milestone that you had dreamed of. So I'm pretty much sure that it was definitely a blend of both the things together, which has,
Absolutely.
worked towards this kind of a result. Amazing. Abhishek, since we are already on the subject of, you already mentioned that this course has definitely been crafted. Which, how, can you really define, or can you tell me a little about this course, and how would it be a little different from the other UG courses if you studied on them?
Absolutely, ma'am. The thing is that IPM is, if you compare it with any other course, I think it's much more comprehensive in some sense. And why I say that is because this is not the reason they are crafting it, or they are presenting it as a BA, is coming from the very fact that they have so many options. They have so many subjects. It includes engineering subjects like calculus, statistics. Then it has subjects from commerce, economics, accounting. and it has focus on the art subjects, humanities also, political theory, philosophy, psychology. And I think this specific part, and when we come to the specifics of each section, I'll definitely share it then, that how it really contributes to your knowledge of each domain. And that really helps in specifically the verbal section. And this course, the real treasure of this course is the students there, the sort of exposure that you get. Just think about it. A class 12 student goes into a B school, and he's meeting people from all around the world. The sort of exposure that you get is absolutely amazing, and I think that changes your personality. It gives you new perspectives, new things to talk about. You learn a lot, and the sort of world class facilities, obviously, but the more important part is the faculty and the standard of teaching. That's absolutely amazing there. So
So definitely inspiring a lot of people over here. We really have a lot of students, who are into this particular course or who are
hmm,
preparing for this particular course, and I think you will act as a good inspiration for all of them. Apart
right.
from this, also when it comes to this particular course, or when it comes to the entire management stream for that matter, when did you first dreamed about going into this stream? Whom did you take any suggestion, or out of the blues, you just picked up a stream for yourself?
uh, I'll be a bit honest here, although I have a lot of clarity right now, that what is it that I want to do with my life, what is it the sector that I want to enter. So I'm clear as of now. But back in 2019, I had absolutely no idea what management is, what MBA is. I was guided by my brother. He really is sort of that that person that tells you that this is right for you, this is, I'll decide for you, don't worry about it, I know this is going to work out. And obviously Rajiv sir at Hitbullseye team, he helped me basically understand what this course is actually about. Because these days a lot of students, when they contact me that Abhishek, I want to prepare for this course, and they have done so much of research, and I personally feel that they're doing way better than me. A lot of them are doing way better than me because I had done absolutely no research. So the team there guided me that what this course is about, and I developed an interest that yes, this suits me, this suits the career path that works well for me. So yeah, that's how I entered management. And right now I think I, with these 3 years that I've had at IIM Indore, I have sort of clarity that what is it that I want to do next. Yeah.
Amazing. We also have, Abhishek, a lot of questions coming up in the chat. So Kushagra says, how much time preparation? And we also have another one from Akriti. She's asking how much questions you used to do in a day. So maybe now taking our attention a little more towards the CAT examination, if you could tell us what was your overall strategy behind the exam?
So, ma'am, there's this clarification that I must make, and it is that I didn't prepare a lot. And if you ask me, I think I didn't prepare well. So this is an honest opinion that I'm sharing. I'm not gonna lie here. So I prepared for 2 months, and the reason being that I was sort of complacent, A, and B, I knew my relative ranking, as in I had already prepared for 1 year. And the best thing, this is actually the best thing why I recommend coachings in general, is because they help you evaluate your relative position. Where do you actually stand in the competition? So I knew that I had strong fundamentals of mathematics, English, and DILR. Although I know my DILR is sort of weak, so not gonna stress a lot on that. Uh, but I prepared for 2 months, and my main focus was on just brushing up with the topics, brushing up through mock exercises, and I think the important point that I'd like to bring up is more than your preparation. Even see, there's obviously the ideal cases where you prepare a lot, you prepare for 1 year. According to me, 1 year is sufficient. 1 year of preparation would definitely help you end up with 99 percentile or above. But in case you're not very well prepared, just like me, I think provided you have some strong fundamentals and you can focus on strategy, it would work out. It's going to work out because CAT is not an examination that is simply going to test that how much this guy knows. In fact, knowing a lot can actually hamper your progress. This is an honest opinion. How this works is, say you know a lot of topics in quants, you're aware of every other topic, and now when the questions come in front of you, you're not in a position of deciding which one to leave or which one to take up, because you know every topic, you'll be attempting every question, and that does not generally work out. A lot of people, and people who are good at maths, like me myself, I'm very comfortable with mathematics. We have this tendency of fighting with the questions. If I picked up a question, I'm going to fight with it till the end. I don't care about the time. I need to solve that question. And this is a mistake a lot of people make. So the good thing for me was I didn't know a lot of topics. So it was easy to select. So selection process becomes easy. And this is exactly what I'm saying, that strategy can help you crack this CAT exam, even if you're left with with 1 month or maybe 15 days. Build your strategy, and the best way to do that is obviously mock exams. Take as many mocks as you can. So yeah, that is more or less about the preparation thing that I'd say, because I have not done a lot of preparation. Yeah,
How about the individual strategies that you took? I know the strategies really differ for different people. For me, it could be
absolutely.
something else. For you, it could be
Mhm.
completely different. But if you could just highlight whatever you took for the test.
Let's do this thing that let's go section by section. So
Done.
for the verbal section first, because I think that was my forte in this exam. So as I already mentioned, that the course that I am enrolled in, that really provided me an exposure to almost every topic you can think of: geopolitics, science and technology, philosophy, psychology, everything. And besides, I recently only I started this thing, reading books, because I think that contributes a lot to your ideas. And I started with this book, and I'll definitely recommend this book to anyone who's watching this. It's Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, a brilliant book on human evolution. So I think reading, if you have a reading habit, this this section is going to be a cake for you, as easy as cutting a cake, because you sort of comprehend those questions on your own. There are a lot of similar ideas that you have already read. So just for example, there was a passage that was on human evolution or psychology, and I had read an entire book on that. So it was easier for me to relate, and even if it were not on the same topics, on the same lines, I think your comprehension ability improves a lot. So this is the most important thing. Even if you're not preparing specifically for CAT, please do read books. So verbal is pretty simple, and the thing with CAT is they do not actually test your vocabulary. They are not going to ask you specific questions: what's the meaning of this, what's the meaning of that. So it's not a vocabulary test, or how much rote learning do you, how good are you at. So I think reading is the key for this section. Then talking about this, and that is why actually I didn't prepare a lot for this section also, because I thought, okay, most of the topics that I'm reading, whether it's about geopolitics, world history, or whatever, I've mostly gone through those topics. So I was getting a good percentile around almost every time I attempted a verbal section. I got around 98, 99 percentile. So I was pretty happy there. Now, coming to quants, skipping the problematic DILR, I'll first come to quants. So quants, I think I knew limited topics, and my focus was basically on memorizing the formulas. Once you have your formulas, the basic formulas in your hand, then it's the time to just go on with the practice. Do as many questions as you can, and try noting down the tricks. So whenever I came across a good question, I used to note it down. So although I didn't prepare a lot, but I had my own notebook. When you're preparing, do it properly. It's not like kisi din kar liya, kisi din nahi. Be regular, be consistent with it. If you're allotting 1 hour or 2 hours, please be regular with that thing. You have to be really religious with your studies, that okay, this is sacrosanct. 2 hours devoted to this thing, this section today, I'm going to work on it. So for quants, I worked a lot. I attempted a lot of questions, used to note down, and eventually it worked out. And I think for quants, there are so many questions in the exam that it basically boils down to your selection. How good is your selection? When you see a question, are you able to identify that okay, this is going to be my approach in this question, should I pick this up or not? If that approach is not, it just does not hit you in the first 10 seconds or 15 seconds, leave that question. There's no point of fighting with that question. And now to the last thing, DILR. Now this is a section that I had identified that I'm not pretty good at it. Even in the mocks, I was getting around 60 percentile, 70 percentile, which is pretty low compared to my percentiles in the other two sections. And I didn't work a lot on it. I'll be honest here. So my strategy was simply that let's pick up the two short sets. There are basically four sets in the paper. And the shorter ones are generally the easier ones. So I attempted 8 questions. If you can get 8 questions right, trust me, you'll end up with 90 percentile or above. So, and first 15 minutes of that section, I completed the first two sets and I was happy with it. I had 25 minutes on the clock and I was looking at it. करना है कि नहीं करना है ये I wasn't sure because I knew कि होने नहीं वाला है. I'm not that good at it. So and a thing about DILR is that you need a lot of patience. If you're not practicing it, वो patience नहीं आने वाला है. Because you have a set, you solve that complete set, and it is only after solving the complete set that you get the answer to those 5 questions or 6 questions. And I do not have that patience. So अगर एक question है, if I keep on taking them individually, I might have solved, but it's a complete set. उतनी देर में मेरा patience खत्म हो जाता है. And yeah, so 8 questions was my attempt, and rest of the 24-25 minutes I basically wasted. So to make sure that you do not commit this mistake, and the aspirants who are watching this, please prepare. Please focus on this section, DILR. Jitne sets karoge, I think they really improve your critical thinking. And the problem with DILR is that once you look at the question, you need to map it. You need to map it in your brain, and you need to put that thing in a in the form of a chart, or maybe in the form of a table. If you can do that, it's halfway done. And that was my problem. I couldn't do that. So my only suggestion is please prepare for DILR.
Abhishek, we've already decoded so much about all the sections. I think all of us are all set to take up the CAT examination very much soon. But yes, despite the fact that you do not feel that DILR is your strongest suit, you've still managed a lot. You've gone a long way. So I think as long as the end result is fine enough, so
Exactly.
it's perfect. Right. Abhishek, we have a very interesting question in the chat box. Probably even I want to hear that. Sir, how do you handle the pressure? What is your strategy behind it?
Okay.
I wish I could have asked this, but still, yes.
Okay. Generally, this is my opinion, that people who prepare a lot have a lot of pressure. And people who do not prepare a lot, they do not have this pressure कि I have to perform this good. I prepared for 1 year. Now it's all the game of one day. It is going to change my life. I personally didn't feel that pressure. And in fact, the day I went there in the CAT examination center, I was noticing the reactions of people, and most of them were really scared. But the thing is that I had nothing to lose. So my case is actually very different. So I had no pressure for that matter. I just thought that this is a paper that I'm going to attempt just like any other exam. I don't care what's going to be the result. Let's do our best. And that is why, the moment you stop taking that pressure, and it's very important, once you reach that center, once you're sitting in front of that computer, tell yourself 10 times it's going to be fine. Nothing's going to change after this exam. This is just like any other normal exam that you're taking up. Don't care much about it. And do not evaluate. This is very important. A lot of people do this while they are attempting the paper. They'll start evaluating कि अभी तक 5 क्वेश्चन हुआ है. They'll start evaluating. इतना percentile बनेगा, उतना बनेगा. You have absolutely no idea what others are doing. It's possible that others are probably going to end up with negative scores. So 5 questions might fetch you 99 percentile. So do not evaluate during the exam or after the exam. Once you have attempted the exam, just leave it. And another thing is that once you move ahead with a section, leave that section there. 40 minutes over, wo section khatam, leave it there only. Do not think about those questions. Do not think about usme kitna attempt gaya. It's over. Focus on the current section. So that's it. I don't think I have much to talk about pressure because I never had it. I never faced it. So I was sort of lucky in this case.
So when you first started preparing while you were there, in the course, how did you come to this thought that now I should start preparing for my CAT also, or I want to take up CAT again, or?
I think it boils down to most of us do not stop there. We have aspirations. Let's try for a better IIM. So I think that's the only motivation that we had, although pretty less. Ideally, you should be really motivated for these exams and the things that they're offering. These top B schools have a lot to offer in terms of exposure, in terms of growth, in terms of job opportunities. And that is why if you are based on my experiences, please do not evaluate that it's not really worth it. It's a simple exam. There's a lot. There's a lot that these B schools can offer. Please be serious about this. And but on the last day, you don't have to be serious about it. You have already done your preparation. Go in the best possible mood and stay happy, and try to just concentrate on the exam as if it's just another mock. So yeah.
We've got another question for you. So Raghav is asking, any tip on selecting the RCs?
Selecting the RCs. Okay. See, my selection was based on time. So I am good at RCs. I already mentioned this thing that I read a lot, and that is why perhaps I am able to score well in it. So as in the accuracy is really high. And this is another thing that I missed out that I'll talk now. Accuracy for the verbal section specifically. And when it comes to RC, I attempted 3 RCs out of the 4 passages. I attempted 3. And that was only because I felt that I was left with just 20 minutes or so, and I should probably focus on the other TETA questions, jumbled sentences, rearranged, because they do not have a negative marking. Only because of that fact, I left the last RC passage. Otherwise, the passages this time were really interesting. They were basically on psychology, and one of those was, I don't exactly remember, but I think human evolution, something related to that. So those are pretty good. So I think for selection, what I'd say is try giving mocks and try to find out what is your optimal attempt. Now, what I mean by that is that when I first prepared for IPM, I had done this during 2019, that I tried to figure out what is my optimal number of questions that I should attempt. So verbal section is one of those sections where you have absolutely no idea. You are basically relying on your intuitive or that gut feeling that ye fit ho raha hai, I should go with this option. Unlike maths, where you basically get an answer and you check ki same option mein diya hua hai, so I should attempt this one. It's all about intuition and gut feeling in verbal section, and that is why it is important to restrict your attempt. So I had figured this out ki as soon as for this is for IPMAT, that out of the 40 questions, as soon as I cross the 32 questions attempt, mera accuracy gir jata hai. Accuracy goes really bad. I end up getting negatives for that. So I had decided 32 pe I'll restrict my attempt, and I'll not even look at the other questions. And that is exactly what I did. So for this exam, this CAT exam specifically, I thought that the time was pretty less. तो उतना attempt तक जाने का हो ही नहीं पाया. तो yeah, accuracy, keep this thing in mind while you're giving the mock exams, कि what is that score, what is that attempt जिसके बाद negative अचानक से बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. So that is something that aspirants should try figuring out.
So I think this is not just important for Raghav, but for all the other aspirants also. That is, all of you have to find an optimal point for yourself. Now, this is not just restricted to the verbal portion for that matter. This is for the entire examination. You have to first identify that, okay, these are the category of questions which I'm good at. These are the category, or this particular category I'm okayish. That means I can do sometimes, I have a good accuracy rate, sometimes I do not. And there is a certain category which I'm definitely not able to do. So you definitely have to create your own personal order of difficulty, understand that which questions you should go first, which questions you should deal later on, so that at least the score which is required to get that percentile, you get it. Right, Abhishek?
Absolutely,
Sum
ma'am.
it
Absolutely.
up. Okay, so I think you've already mentioned about most of the things. Let me see if there's any other question. Okay, we've got a lot of other questions also. For example, how much hours to study maths and English in a day?
Uh, Ideally, look, this is a very subjective question. The answer has to be dependent on how strong are your fundamentals. But ideally, I would say, if you're not very good with maths and you do not have a lot of time left, at least devote 1 to 1.5 hours a day. At least this is the minimum that you can do, because the thing with quants is that you need a particular mindset for solving that questions. Once you sit down, you're spending, and this happens with a lot of people, that when the section starts, you're initially very slow. पहले एक दो क्वेश्चन में you're spending 5-6 minutes per question, and as soon as you start solving a few questions, your mind is sort of warmed up, and you're in that basically mindset of solving the questions. You read, you form the equation, and you start solving. So at least 1 to 1.5 hours for quants. And for verbal, I would say, if possible, please read books. Otherwise, 2 RCs a day, I think that is more than sufficient, more than enough. So yeah.
Right. So I hope, Girish, this answers your question. We've got another one from Arpit. He is asking, is anyone needed to repeat the coaching again?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get that question.
Is anyone, yeah. So is anyone, I mean, if someone has prepared earlier, is he required to repeat the coaching?
Uh, so if someone has already prepared for CAT, does he need to repeat a coaching? I think if you have done the complete coaching, as in including the concepts and then coming to the test series part, then perhaps you could skip the concepts part. But please do not skip the test series part, because if then even the next time when you're appearing, you'll need that momentum. It really helps. Like that worked for me, giving those mock exams. So yeah.
Another question from Kritika. Can I leave geometry if my accuracy is not improving after covering all concepts number of times?
Uh, Although, look, this geometry topic, I also hate this topic personally. I hate this, but the thing is that the weightage is pretty high. Okay, you'll definitely find 3 or 4 questions from geometry, and provided you can compensate for this loss of attempt from other sections, maybe trigonometry, or maybe logarithms, or maybe functions, derivatives, any of those topics, if you can compensate, then it makes sense to focus on those.
But for that, she has to compensate with the other
Yes,
topics. So yeah.
yes, provided you can compensate.
So try working hard for it. There can certainly be some questions that you can do. Some questions definitely would always be, something that we cannot do, maybe because they are difficult, or maybe the concept is definitely something that we are unable to grasp. But again, finding your optimal point for the entire examination, that how many questions can you leave, how many topics can you leave while you are attempting the question paper. So probably, Abhishek, that sums up all the things. We've had a wonderful time understanding your strategies. Any parting words to the aspirants?
Uh, I should have thought this before. Okay.
Yes.
All I'll say is that I think all these top B schools, I always say this thing, that they have a lot to offer, provided you're willing to work hard enough. And this is a promise from my end that it's going to be worth it. If you can reach a good B school, It's going to be absolutely worth it, the hours you are putting in right now. And although I know it's very difficult, like managing your graduation and managing your work and your job along with this preparation, it's very difficult, it's tiresome. And even I used to get irritated during my preparation, and that was in class 12, which was relatively easier. I don't know why do people say that college easy hone wala hai. It's not going to be easy provided you're studying. So uh, my only I think the sort of inspirational words for all the aspirants is going to be that at the end, if you can crack it, it's going to be worth it. So please try your best. And if it does not work out, trust me, there's nothing that you have lost, because the sort of aptitude that you have developed, the sort of personality that you have developed, that's going to be with you all the time. I can tell you this based on my preparation of interviews. The interview preparation phase is perhaps the most difficult phase, and it's the most enlightening phase. You basically realize that what is it that you're preparing for, what are the reasons why MBA, and the questions like what are your strengths and weakness, they really help you figure out what type of a person you are and how you'd like to project yourself to the world. So it's going to be worth it. So, yeah.
We've got by the time we were discussing the Guru Mantra, we've got some other questions also. Let me take up one for you.
Sure.
We've already had enough of questions for the day. Before that, Arpit mentions that I've done coaching in 2021. Do I need to do coaching for 22 again? Arpit, as mentioned by Abhishek, you are not required to do the entire coaching again. All you can do is start off. I mean, if there's some particular concept, you can definitely work on that concept again, but you do not require the entire coaching again, firstly. Secondly, you can go for the test series, you can go for the mocks and the other practice. Then if you find that there is some particular topic which you're still unable to understand, then of course from the coaching, wherever you've done it, you can definitely understand those topics again, but you do not really require, I mean, you're not required to do the coaching again. There's another question by Mannat, I believe. I am weak in English verbs, so what should I do? In fact, I hate reading. Um, Mannat, there'll be a lot of people who hate reading just like you, because see, it
That's
depends
fine.
on a. No, Abhishek just says that, but he has read a lot. That
Yeah,
also
I've
has
read a lot.
59
I
and
hated reading, but I read a lot despite this.
yeah, despite this, he had read a lot. Reading is something that you cannot take your eyes off from, or this is not something that you can really escape from. In fact, if you're preparing for any competitive exam, not just CAT. But for this, we all can take baby steps. That means we can just start by reading maybe one small short paragraph and comprehending it also, because it is not reading. So if I start reading 20 pages a day, but I'm not understanding anything, it does not make any sense. I'm just wasting those 20 pages. I'm just wasting my few minutes or hours, whatever I'm dedicating to it. So maybe you can start off by reading something which interests you a lot. I'm pretty much sure there could be Bollywood, there could be some topic from cartoons or anything, any game that you like, anything, any news which is related to whatever your likings are. So maybe you can start picking those news articles. So it's not a mandate that when it comes to reading, हमें novel ही याद आने चाहिए कि भाई reading का नाम किसी ने लिया तो हमें वो बड़े बड़े नॉवेल्स याद आने चाहिए एक शेल्फ पे लगे हुए कि आज हम कौन सी बुक पढ़ेंगे इनमें से. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. When it comes to reading, it could be a newspaper article, it could be a blog, it could be about a celebrity. At the end of the day, it is all just about developing that habit. And definitely all of us would hate reading till we develop that habit. So I know at the very beginning you would have to enforce yourself to work on it. When it comes to your basic English and grammar, in fact on our website also you can find so much of material related to the basic English, which you can start developing one day after the other. You can start off by picking the basic parts of speech. Those are the 8 parts of speech, and then you can go on to subject and verb agreement, parallelism, and all these things. But you can start off with the very basic. So once you do any basic, even if it is of English, try doing some questions which are related to it. So don't just read the rules and regulations and go off to sleep or just keep that material aside, but also do certain questions, so that whatever concept you are building up, this is for everyone again, whatever concept you're building up, at least you're reinforcing that concept onto your minds. So learn and then practice. So this is probably which you can definitely do. Arpit is also asking something. Manat, I hope that answers your question. In case there's any other thing also, please feel free to comment and we'll surely get back to you on that as well. Apart from that, Arpit is asking what to do for profile improvement. I'm a student of Bachelor's of Arts. Again, Arpit, there are a lot of areas wherein you can work upon when it comes to the profile building. So everyone, any B school that you go to, when they're assessing at your overall profile, they're trying to count that plus ones that you have. That means whether you have participated in some extracurricular or some co-curricular activities for that matter, how much profile have you developed. For example, when you were there in school, were you a part of anything? Maybe you've written blogs, maybe you've created blogs or something that you have done beyond your education. It could also be some sort of social service for that matter. Even that helps you out a lot. Okay, doing internships, doing worthy internships for that matter. Right now I understand from the last 2 years, a lot of things have changed and we are unable to actually go for live internships, but then there are a lot of other live projects which are available on websites. You can learn a new language. You can learn a new technical language for that matter. Since you're from the Bachelor's of Arts, this is also something you can do, which is beyond your course, but it will help you any which ways. So learning something would never hurt you, provided that you're picking something and being consistent with it. It should not be that your entire profile should have 20 different things altogether, but together they're not making any sense. Even that would not be very helpful to you कि नहीं मैम ने कहा था कर लो, तो मैंने डांस भी कर लिया, मैंने ये भी कर लिया, वो भी कर लिया, मेरे पे सब कुछ है. So हमें सब कुछ नहीं चाहिए, but whatever you're doing, it should be somewhat related to each other, थोड़ा थोड़ा. And then again, whatever are your future needs. So suppose a person wants to go into an MNC, like a team leader or something. Some people, after this also, they want to pursue tech. So whatever you have as your future goals, you should understand those also. Maybe do certain certifications. These days, we've got so many platforms like Coursera is there, edX is there, Udemy is there. Um, so many other good platforms also. So try doing some certain certifications on that. And if out of all these also you're unable to find out which one is the best for you, go for some psychology ones. Even those are going to be very helpful when it comes to a Bachelor of Arts student. So I think I think these answers would help you, Arpit, I hope, right? So with this, Abhishek, sorry for taking the last few questions. I think
No, ma'am, that's
वो
perfectly fine.
trainer वाली आत्मा है ना, so it will continue with me. So I think
actually the answers were perfect. That's actually what students are required to do. If you have a hobby, please pursue it, because this is a question that a lot of interviewers will ask, that what is it that you have done for your hobby? If you like chess, if you like dance, you like singing, what is it that you have done exactly? So please do something in that particular field that interests you.
definitely. So I think we've got a good wholesome set of knowledge, I'd call it, for the day. We've got a lot of guru mantras. I usually ask what is that one guru mantra that you would like to share with the others. But today, Abhishek, to be very honest, we've got so many that I do not want to fade whatever we've just understood from you for the last 40 minutes, just by counting on one mantra. So we've learned a lot from Abhishek. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for being here. Again, congratulations on your percentile. I hope you achieve much more wonders, and then we again have you on board to discuss those as well. So I think the day is not very far away. We're going to discuss those things again. But yeah, for today, I believe these are the things that we're going to stick to. Maybe you can post your questions below, and Abhishek and I could take them later on as well. So thank you so much, Abhishek, and thank you so much everyone who was watching us today. And make sure that you keep on posting your questions, keep on engaging, so that all your queries are resolved. Thank you so much. Thanks, Abhishek. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care.